Welcome to this workshop on Open Access Publishing and eScholarship. I'm Qing Han, Digital Scholarship Librarian and eScholarship Liaison at UC Riverside. We will cover Open Access fundamentals, the eScholarship platform, UC OA policy and journal agreements, author rights, and scholarly impact metrics, with 4 hands-on exercises along the way. Here is a quick map of today's 5 sections. We will move from foundational concepts into practical tools you can use right away. Exercises are built in throughout, so keep a browser tab open as we go. Let's start with the basics: what open access is, why it matters, and the different forms it takes. Open access means research is freely available online with no paywall and no restrictions on use. Raw map tracks how many institutions globally have mandated researchers make their work openly available. A number has grown dramatically. This chart shows the growth of OA policy adoption in the US over time. The acceleration is clear, especially after federal mandates kicked in. OA is no longer an afterthought. It's becoming the standard expectation for publicly funded research. Therefore, practical reasons to publish OA: grant compliance, many funders now require it, more citations and exposure, OA articles consistently get read and cited more, greater policy influence, practitioners and policymakers can actually access your work, and for organizations, increased donor visibility. But open access does not mean it's free. There are 3 types of open access publishing: gold, green, and diamond. Gold open access requires authors or institutions to pay an article processing charge. For some journals, this fee can be more than around $10,000. Green and diamond open access have no publishing fee. We will practice identifying these in the exercise coming up. But for UC authors, UC open access journal agreements can cover the fee, often referred to as APC, partially or fully. We will mention more on that soon. Open access isn't just for journal articles. Datasets, presentations, code, thesis, and discipline-specific outputs, like 3D models and multimedia, can all be shared openly. Different platforms are designed for different content types. There's a home for almost every type of open scholarly output: for data, Dryad, Zenodo, or Figshare. For written work, eScholarship uses its own platform and our focus today. For code, GitHub or OSF. When in doubt, Zenodo is a flexible catch-all that also provides DOIs. Pause the video for a minute, identify the OA type, and answer the 3 questions about APC, copyright, and immediate availability for each scenario. Now, let's look closely at eScholarship, UC's own open access platform. eScholarship is 2 things: UC's open access publishing platform and its institutional repository. It can publish new OA journals and conference proceedings, and it's also where you deposit already published work to make it openly accessible. It's run by the California Digital Library and is free for all UC-affiliated researchers. Here's what eScholarship looks like in practice. Every item gets a permanent URL, and most get a DOI, making deposited work citable and trackable. You can browse by campus, unit, and content type. eScholarship's reach is global. This map shows that. You can see increasing usage in China, India, and curiously, Madagascar, which we later discovered that a lot of wildfire research is being conducted there. This slide shows how UCR's content performs within eScholarship. UCR has about 24,000 deposits and 4 diamond open access journals. eScholarship provides detailed statistics for every deposited item, including downloads, views, and traffic sources. You can read more about eScholarship statistics by following the link in this slide. This chart tracks UCR's OA policy deposits from January 2012 through February 2026 and key events, such as milestones of UC OA policies and implementations. The following 4 slides shows the visualization of UCR eScholarship deposit and request statistics and where eScholarship content can be discovered. You can explore UCR scholarship report details on your own pace following the link on slide 24. Beyond repository deposit, eScholarship offers open access publishing support services, including journals with peer review management via Janeway, conference proceedings, and monograph publishing through EC Press. On the repository side, eScholarship covers postprints, preprints, and ETDs. Everything includes usage tracking and long-term preservation through CDL's merit system. Follow the UCR eScholarship report link to learn more about eScholarship and UCR eScholarship on your own pace. Pause the video for a minute to explore eScholarship using the instructions. Next up, we have UC's Open Access Policy, Open Access Journal Agreement, and how to actually get your work into eScholarship. UC Open Access policies allow UC employees to deposit a version of their publications to eScholarship, despite the journal publishing agreements that UC authors have signed with the publishers. This practice is part of Green Open Access. There are lots of details within the UC OA policies. You can read more by following the link in the slide. In summary, UC OA policies cover all employees but not students who are not paid by UC. The coverage includes scholarly articles, which can include journal articles, conference proceedings, and book chapters, but full books are not included. Remember, UC OA policies are not the same as UC OA journal agreements. The latter helps UC authors, including students, to pay for article processing fees for open access publishing partially or fully. You can use the Journal Open Access Lookup tool developed by CDL in the slide to explore which journals are covered by UC OA journal agreements and the details. There are two paths to deposit into eScholarship: UC PMS, which stands for UC Publication Management System, is the semi-automated route, or you can deposit directly through eScholarship website. There's a step-by-step guide linked here. We'll look at UC PMS on the next two slides. UC PMS monitors new publications associated with your name and sends you a bi-weekly email digest to verify and deposit. Here is the UC PMS interface that guides you through the deposit workflow. Your UC PMS account is set up automatically, and you can use your UCR credential to sign in. Pause the video for a minute and complete the exercise by following the instructions. Now, we'll move into author rights, one of the most important but often overlooked areas for researchers. There are three key concepts: copyright, the legal right that protects creative work. By default, it belongs to whoever created it. Creative Commons licenses, which are standardized tools for sharing your work with clear permissions. Fair use, the legal doctrine allowing limited uses of copyright materials without permission in certain circumstances. All three work together, and we will cover each one. You should know what's protected and what isn't by copyrights. Protected materials include published articles, books, images, music, datasets, software, and more. U.S. federal government works are generally in the public domain, and in the U.S., most works published before 1929 are also in the public domain, though exceptions may apply. When in doubt, assume everything is copyrighted. When you sign a standard publishing agreement, you typically transfer copyright to the publisher, meaning they control what happens to your work. Retaining rights lets you share it freely and reuse in teaching. As a UC employee, UC OA policy applies to you before any publishing agreements, and it allows you to deposit a version of your publication to eScholarship. Creative Commons licenses let you share your work with standardized, legally recognized permissions built in. They work on top of copyright. You are not giving up copyright. You are specifying what others can do. The main choice is how much you restrict: commercial use, modifications, and whether adaptations must carry the same license. Creative Commons licenses range from the most permissive, CC BY attribution only, to the most restrictive, CC BY NC/ND. It means no commercial use and no derivatives. For publicly funded research, CC BY is generally recommended and required by founders like NIH and the Gates Foundation. When in doubt, CC BY maximizes your work's reuse and impact. Fair use is a legal defense evaluated case by case across 4 factors. Purpose: educational and transformative use favors fair use. Nature of work: factual content favors it. Portion used: smaller is better, though an image can be a complete work on its own. And market effect. No substitution effect favors fair use. When you are unsure, seek permission or use openly licensed alternatives. This flowchart gives you a practical decision framework anytime you want to use someone else's work or share your own. Start at step 1. Ask whether the work is protected by copyright, whether a license has already been granted, or whether your use would qualify as fair use. If any of those are yes, you can move to step 3. You don't need to seek additional permission. If none apply, go to step 2 and seek permission. Find the copyright holder, send a request, keep records, and make sure the permission covers everything you intend to do with the work. Step 3 reminds you that copyright isn't only concern. You may also need to check database terms of service, privacy rights, or ethical norms around sensitive information. And step 4 flips the perspective to your own work. Consider whether to register with copyright and whether you want to apply a license to make it easier for others to reuse. This framework works whether you are using an image in a paper, reproducing a figure in a course, or deciding how to share your own research. Every time you publish, you are asked to sign a publishing agreement, and most researchers sign without reading it carefully. That single document determines what you can and cannot do with your own work for the rest of your career. The most consequential clause is usually whether you are transferring copyright entirely to the publisher or just granting them a license to publish. If you transfer copyright, you may need to ask permission to include your own figure in a grant proposal or a book chapter. The version you are allowed to share also matters. Publishers almost always allow you to share an accepted manuscript, which is the peer-reviewed version before final formatting, even when they restrict the published PDF. And always check the embargo. Some journals allow immediate deposit. Others impose a 12-month or longer wait. The key habit to build: read agreement before you sign, not after. Refer to the guidebook by Authors Alliances for more information on understanding publishing agreements. The link is available in the slide. Now, pause the video for a minute to finish the fair use scenario analysis exercise. Last section, how scholarly impact is measured. There are 3 levels of metrics traditionally: article, author, and journal. For article, citation count is an important metric. Number of publication and citation count are impactful for measuring the scholarly impact of an author. The prestige of a journal is really important as well. In addition to these metrics, there are many more you can explore in the metric toolkit. I also want to emphasize alt metrics, which tracks and measures scholarly impact in a non-traditional and more comprehensive way, which includes surveying various spaces online, such as social media, blogs, policy documents, Wikipedia citations, and more. This visualization summarizes well for the 3 traditional levels: article, author, journal, and non-traditional ways of measuring scholarly impact, such as measuring online presence, and other types of scholarly outputs, including datasets and software. I covered more information on measuring scholarly impact in a different tutorial. Click the link to learn more. Congratulations on finishing the workshop. I'm Jing Han, Digital Scholarship Librarian and UCR eScholarship Liaison. Let me know if you have any questions.